morning. That's right, it's your man, Sean Mason, and I'm here with the fellas as usual. To my left, the Renaissance man, Mr. Glenn Murray. To his left, the total gent, Mel Roberson. And on the far end down there, the one and only, the lover of life, Mr. Robert Hazard. How you guys doing, man?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. You guys look...
It's still early.
I am doing wonderful.
I tell y'all this every week.
The producers told us after that last show we need to straighten up and fly right. So I am doing wonderful. I am blessed and highly favored.
Highly favored. I knew you were going to say that.
Saved, sanctified,
and full of something. Full of something. We don't know what that is.
Just in case that lightning bolt comes.
Just in case.
I don't want the lightning to hit me.
Mel moved away, so he doesn't want the lightning.
He doesn't want the lightning.
Hey, man, question for you gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Are men intimidated by successful women?
That wasn't in the script, Sean.
Yeah.
He always flipping the script. I need to see a manager. Sean did not go off the script.
Robert.
Am I? No.
Not you, but maybe you aren't. But do you get the impression that there are men that are intimidated by successful women?
Very few. But I will say that it's based off of potentially where they are in life. Because I think that's a narrative that's been talked about in social media far too much. I don't know. I don't see any of my friends, experiencing that are saying that we love successful women.
That's right. That's what I was going to say. None of my friends, none of the people I hang with,
none of the people
are intimidated by successful women.
I'm gonna say yes. Men are intimidated by successful women.
Well, we didn't say all men. We said the men we hang out with.
I mean, yeah, but I think even to a degree, or even in my circle, I won't say necessarily intimidated to the point where they don't do anything or they don't act. But I will say there's something about the air of a successful woman that makes a man really, here's a way to put it. It makes you check yourself to make sure that you're performing at the level you should be performing at.
Okay.
But I think that's good. If
that's
a woman
great.
bringing out the best in you.
But that
So
still
that's
could be
important.
intimidation as
It
well.
could be. It could be.
To a certain degree or extent, right?
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Mel. I think that.
Oh, you didn't agree with me?
No, I think that ultimately it could be defined as intimidation. But like Mel said, I think oftentimes it is an indicator of not only how the man feels about his own journey and his own success, but also how he feels she is going to experience his success. And so I think there's so much pressure on men to be and provide and to have that it becomes almost destructive for men because they become so hard on themselves and so preoccupied with what they feel like they're bringing to this proverbial table that you have these men that are really potentially great mates, but if they set their sights on a woman who maybe makes $10,000 or $15,000 more than them, and let's be frank, a lot of times women will make men feel like they are inferior if they make more money or what. It's a lot to handle sometimes.
But I want somebody
and that's not to blame women for that. I'm not doing that. I'm just being realistic about the variables that are part of it.
Challenge me. I want to be challenged to be my best. I want
that's what I was
to
saying with the mirror. They're putting a mirror up to you.
I want the person that you should fall for is the person that sees the best in you.
Absolutely.
When you don't see it in yourself. They see all the possibilities and can actually help you materialize.
But at the same time, we know of, we all have known of situations where a man was maybe not doing as well as his lady was, and then she became victim to the criticizing crowd that was in her ear, saying, "Hey, you need to upgrade
then
because of where you are."
That she portrays herself to be.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Tyrese's ex-wife just came forward and said, "Hey, I let people talk me into divorcing my husband." So that happens quite a bit, and I will say that I've experienced that real life, in my own life, where the circle of friends decides, "Hey, this is where you are. You need somebody that's right here, so you need to ditch this guy."
So honestly, I think it's two parts to this, Sean, right? So there are some women that are extremely successful and lonely because at some point in time, they started to, I don't want to say believe their own press,
Sure.
but they let their social status, their financial status build them so far up that they started looking at other people as less than, right? And then once they realize that, and they realize, well, there are probably some good people that might have a different career path. If you're an exec and he's a teacher, he's not going to make as much money as you, period. Right. But they started looking at that and saying, oh, I was wrong, and they don't want to go back and say that because now it's embarrassing.
Right.
You know, that they did that or said that. But at some point in time, they got to realize, man, I could be right and lonely, or I could be wrong and get somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely true. And we just saw Tyrese's ex-wife talk about how she let people in her ear change her view of the husband she had.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've actually experienced real time. So what I find interesting about that piece is that the people that are the most judgmental when it comes to valuing their mate based on circumstances and things are the same people that want grace when life gives them a valley.
Right.
They don't want to be perceived a certain way because of their circumstance or because of the way their life has ebbed and flowed at a particular time.
Yeah.
But like you said, Mel, people that tend to believe their own hype don't really think about the fact that circumstances and even success is fleeting. And so you may find yourself on top of the mountain one day, and then you're at the bottom of the mountain another day, and you're going, hey, I'm the same person. I'm just in this temporary circumstance. So I think, man, that's one of the tragedies that's happening between us and our, unique quests for love. And that's why I champion people like Mel who, not only found somebody, but, found such a compatible person. It gives you hope, but at the same time, it also reminds you how hard it is to find, it's a tough thing, but I'm wishing it for all of you, especially you, Robert.
Keep hope alive.
I mean,
Keep hope
9
alive.
times, man, at some point you got to get it.
But Mel had his valleys too.
Okay, so next topic. let's go. we got it up there. Good one.
Then we got it.
So the next one is the project one. So it really depends on what a woman sees as a project.
Right.
When they're talking about, I don't want a project or whatever. Like, I think projects are based off of capacity and tools. You know what I mean? Like if you have the emotional IQ and the heart and the willingness, and you can see the value or you can see the potential in what this man is, then it's not really a project. It's the same with rehabbing a house. Somebody that has no skill or no ability to rehab a house will see a property and say, well, I'm not going to do that. That's a fixer-upper or something like that. But somebody who's a skilled craftsman is like, oh, we could do that. We could flip that. We could, we could, all of those things. So is it really a project or is it really based on capacity? I guess that's somebody's real truth. It would be a project for them. But if she knows what she's doing and she can elevate that man and have that partnership and really give him what he needs to get to the next level and vice versa, it's a two-way street. I think that's dope.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff, man. Hey, we're going to break. We'll be right back. It's live from the cave, The Morning Roast.
The perfect couple with the perfect family until their oldest child is gunned down by police officers. From the author of The Expert Witness, Marvin Mason releases his new book, Come Undone, available on Amazon and Kindle.
Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.
Imagine your own private wine tour. That's Wine Crawl, providing you an experience that's second to none. Now in over 20 cities, Wine Crawl is great for the novice and experienced wine lover. And we mix in food and spirits tours, and you have your answer for what's new and exciting in your city. Find out about our next adventure. Visit us at www.winecrawl.wine.
The Miracle on 75th Street KMT Health Food Store, the best kept secret in Chicago, owned by renowned medical doctor Sheldon T. Caesar, MD. Our goal is to restore and maintain your health naturally. KMT Health Food Store, 233 East 75th Street, or call us at 773-224-7500. Awaken your superpowers.
He said he might be short on waitresses.
Hi, I'm looking for Mr. Booker.
Yeah, we're hiring, but not for waitresses.
Then what position are you looking to fill? This uncle of yours doesn't own a restaurant.
You tell him today is your last day. This cannot continue, Lo.
I told him I'm coming back.
Louise, this is honest.
It's me, Mama.
What do you do it for?
Freedom.
There's lemonade, and then there's Chloe's. Indulge in the taste of nature's finest. Crafted with passion and bursting with unique, refreshing flavors. Every sip is a journey, a dance of zesty delight. Embrace moments of pure joy and connection. Experience the extraordinary. Chloe's, where lemons give you life.
Welcome back. It's live from the Cave, the Morning Roast. I'm with the guys, Glenn, Mel, and Rob. Hey, man, I've been thinking, what would you...
That must hurt.
I wanted to say something, but I was like, nope.
You see the smoke? See the smoke coming from the top of my head? That's why I got the hat on, keep the smoke from... what would you tell the younger version of yourself now, if you could go back and tell them? And Robert, I don't mean run from Keisha. You know, I don't. You know, but what would you tell the younger person of yourself? I'm gonna start with you, Robert.
Oh, okay. What I would tell myself is to develop relationships and bonds sooner. I think that when I look back, you know, I actually just had this discussion with some young men in a meeting the other day and talked about it. But I think that we need to build relationships at an early age because we're going to need those relationships, you know, later. You know, I applaud you brothers for being a part of fraternity. That's a bonding experience, right? And you can go to your brothers and be a part of that bonding. But for those that did not pledge, you know, now in my age now, it's kind of it's a struggle. But community, and I tell my kids this all the time, is the community is really important.
Yeah, for you to be in your 90s and realize that, Rob, that's dope, bro.
I look good for 90, but that is the point. You know,
you look good for 80, but the fact is you're 90.
Right, build the community
he's like
early.
75.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not bad for 75.
40.
Yeah, total gent.
Yes, sir.
What would you go back and tell the younger version of yourself?
Man, that's a heavy question,
It
only
is,
because it depends on which stage in life, which version.
Because you learn so many different lessons.
Man, by the way, shout out to our friend Jamie Gill, Lessons for the Little Boy. That was a great book that we were all a part of.
Yes.
I would say, I was gonna say what Robert said.
Oh my God, get out of here.
Robert's
I'm glad I went
answer.
first then.
but I would say give yourself grace. And it's okay if you don't get it right the first time or the second or the third. I had this thing when I was younger where I used to beat myself up because I was a perfectionist and everything had to be a certain way. And it served me in life, but there were so many things that it did to me, so many ways it was damaging mentally, I guess, that I had to be so perfect in everything that I did, where when I wasn't, I beat myself up tremendously. Like I was the biggest enemy was the inner me type deal. And I was beating myself up for things that in the grand scheme of things in life, I'm not gonna say they didn't make a difference, but they didn't make or break a situation. So I would say I would tell myself, my younger self, to give myself some grace and don't be so hard on myself. Still have a high level of expectation and wanting to excel, but it doesn't have to be, you know, the superiority perfection complex that I had.
Yeah.
Glenn Murray, what would you
Yeah.
tell your younger self?
First, I'd say Lessons for a Little Boy is a bestseller, by the way. 220 Publishing.
It is, thanks to Mel
is.
Roberson and his strategy.
Thanks to me and
Mel Roberson
my
and his
ideas
strategy.
behind it.
Yep.
But no, in all seriousness, it's a great book. All the authors were amazing, not just the guys on the stage, but every author that contributed to it was amazing, and there were lessons in every one of them. What I would take away from it, though, there's several things for me. A couple of what these fellas said: grant yourself the grace that other people didn't grant you.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to grant yourself that grace and mercy. That's the first thing. The other thing is, sometimes they're not your person, they're your progression. You need to really understand that difference. Because we always talk about the ones that got away and things like that. There's always that one that got away. They didn't get away. That was your lesson. And you always say there are no losses, there are lessons.
Yep.
That's something you always say.
I do.
And that's the embodiment of that when you think about it, because we always think about that one that got away, and it's like that big fish that we never caught.
Yeah.
And we're always reaching back, looking back, thinking about that's the person we needed. But no, it's not. That's the person that helped you learn who you were, helped you learn what you liked, what you didn't like. They helped you progress to get to the person that you needed to get to. So I'm grateful to everybody that has touched my life in different ways. The women that I've dated,
Painful.
the men that I've learned from, the friendships that I made, the friendships that I've lost,
That
the
was
mistakes
actually
I made.
amazing, Glenn.
You got tears in your eyes.
This is probably the only time I'm gonna say something nice to you.
Okay, we gotta save this episode for sure.
But yeah, I mean that's amazing, bro. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but you really have to look at your life like that. We can't compartmentalize it because of growth, but you have to look at it. You can't just take one segment of your life and say, I failed and therefore I'm gonna keep failing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You've really got to look at the whole of what you've done, the whole of your existence, the family that you've raised, the daughters that you brought into this world, the gifts that you've given people with your voice, your photography, the things that you do for people. So I think as men, we put so much pressure on ourselves until we forget the good that we've done. And we've got to grant ourselves that mercy.
Yeah. I'd say make peace with the ways you are different and don't be afraid to take the risk. Because I grew up behind an older brother who was very traditionally gifted. He was an academic. He went on to be a successful lawyer. I was a creative, always trying to shove myself in the traditional box. And it really took years and years and years for me to embrace the fact that that was never my journey. I should have never been forcing myself to be someone else. And then I'd say, jump in. Because with accepting that also comes the acceptance that your journey is going to be different, and it may ebb and flow and have peaks and valleys that those other more stable paths don't necessarily have.
Yeah.
And if I could do that over, I would embrace 100% my artistry and my creativity and how different I am from, I don't really know the right brain, left brain thing, but I know I'm the brain that's the creative. Yeah. And I would give myself to it 100%. And hope that I would have somebody riding with me to support me in the ebb and flow of it. But I think all of you guys, your explanations and your answers were amazing. So
This is such a sentimental show today.
it really is.
It's really nice.
Right.
Today.
I'm a little, you know.
I know, really. I'm a little
I could actually talk on this episode.
I might need your hanky in a minute. Hey, this is a serious moment with the live from the cave guys on the morning roast, and we'll be right back.
Imagine your own private wine tour. That's Wine Crawl providing you an experience that's second to none. Now in over 20 cities, Wine Crawl is great for the novice and experienced wine lover. And we mix in food and spirits tours, and you have your answer for what's new and exciting in your city. Find out about our next adventure. Visit us at www.winecrawl.wine.
There's lemonade, and then there's Chloe's. Indulge in the taste of nature's finest. Crafted with passion and bursting with unique, refreshing flavors. Every sip is a journey, a dance of zesty delight. Embrace moments of pure joy and connection. Experience the extraordinary. Chloe's, where lemons give you life.
Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.
Since she was 3 years of age, Shanita craved the taste. Now 20 years later, all those memories come racing back when she bites into Renzo's pastry. Renzo knows he won't survive another week if he can't penetrate Shanita's walls. He has but one weapon not even Shanita can ignore. Once he offers her a bite, she is defenseless and under his spell. No one can resist the taste of his drizzle. Yes, the new book from author Marvin Mason will leave you craving for more.
Welcome back to Live from the Cave, the Morning Roast. I'm with the guys. Glenn Murray, what's on your mind, brother? What's on your mind?
This is what's on my mind. I am not a dating expert in bang.
No, you are not.
No, you are not. You can ask the people that I've dated. But
both of them.
But one thing I've learned, is that communication is the most important part of that. And I don't think we do that enough. And we talk a lot. We make jokes on here. We've talked about the list, the dating list, the places where women won't go.
Yeah.
We talked about high value and things like that.
Yeah.
But think about the dope conversations you've had with people. And my plea to women and to men, so we're not out here just talking about women, but to men, is don't overlook those people that you find connection with in conversation, because that could grow into something amazing. And that's happened to me. And I think it's happened to you guys.
Are you saying as far as relationships?
Romantic relationships, and sometimes friendships. But we short people because of either outward appearance, what our friends say, what we think, some of our own shortcomings.
What their income is, like we were talking about earlier.
All those things we talked about. So I think it's important that we communicate. Communication is an amazing thing if you open up and listen.
It is. I mean, because clearly we don't keep you around for your looks. So your communication, Glenn.
I was told that's probably not the case, Mel, but that's okay. Plus, y'all keep me around because I'm the youngest. That helps too.
I always talk about communication, but I always talk about effective communication, right?
Right.
Because the effective communication goes both ways to make sure that what we are communicating is being heard and understood. Because otherwise, you're just throwing stuff at them.
Yeah, but think about people who talk about their list of things they want. They don't mention communicator.
I do.
They lift it out. You do. Yeah.
Intellectual sparring partner.
Right.
Hey, look, once you've had someone who can't communicate, you'll always add communicate.
I believe though their relationships, whether they're romantic friendships, friendships, business relationships, they fail because of poor communication and unmet expectations.
Yes.
Right. Which goes back to the communication standpoint.
Right.
But there's so many situations in relationships where people have expectations of their partner, business partner, spouse, whatever, but they've never communicated it to them.
Right.
You never let me know what you needed in this relationship.
Right.
And the entire time you were running a tab on how well I was doing
Right.
what you needed me to do,
Yeah.
even though you never told me.
How many
what.
times have you gotten to the end of a breakup and they give you this list of things that you never knew they needed?
Right.
That you never knew was important to them because they never communicated it.
Yeah.
And that brings me to something else. You know, communication is one thing, the conversation is one thing, but the hard conversations are another thing. It's really, really tough to have those hard conversations that you know are really going to make the difference in terms of whether or not you can even keep going.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we put those off because we fear the inevitable. You know, we fear the fact that the conversation may reveal the fact that maybe we need to go our separate ways. So
if both people are committed to that level of communication, though, then it doesn't become hard to have it. The subject matter might be hard, but you're entering into it from a place where there's no malice.
It can be beautiful.
Yeah,
It can be
beautiful.
if you guys are in a space of comfort with each other and you already know, hey, I got your back, you got mine.
Yep.
This is us having a conversation about the challenge.
Yeah.
We're not fighting each other. We're doing battle with the hurdle that we're
Real communication with your partner should be a comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's
Even though it might make you a little
You got bars today, man.
You know, I was on the
I can tell you how. It's because Glenn has been to the bar today. That's probably what it is.
That's what it was at 3:30 this morning.
That 4 hours of sleep was sharp.
Hey man, I've enjoyed you guys, man, and I really enjoyed the fact that you have shared a different part of yourselves with the world and the viewing audience, man. I think that, you know, people have thought that we were just these silly, crazy, fun-loving guys, but we do have some very serious conversations. And guess what? We're glad that you guys have been a part of them. Till next time, it's live from the